Keep crawling, keep coming towards me.
People can act crazy at times, and that makes them do the stupidest things. The psychopaths on our list did something similar and ended up getting roasted in public. Fair warning.
I'm not even bothering you.
You looking at me, that's bothering me. You looking at me.
Well, that's too bad.
Reason, nigga.
This woman was throwing a fit of rage at a passenger on the bus and trying to provoke him. Nobody on the bus knew why. The man tried warning her to back off, but apparently the woman took it as her cue to attempt to charge at the man.
Sit your ass down.
Nigga.
Sit your ass down. I'm not even bothering you. Sit your ass down.
Nigga.
Come at me, see what the fuck.
Nigga.
Go, sit down.
Well, that's all the ammo the man needed. He pepper sprayed her right in the eyes. That shut her right up. Yes, now that's called the walk of shame. The creep arrest. Imagine living in a home for years and your neighbor turns out to be a creep. This family of 3 was in their bedroom one day when they heard strange noises coming from the attic, so he put up a camera inside. The man went there to check and wasn't very happy to find his nightmare coming true. His neighbor had installed a removable wall that he would use to climb up into this family's attic. He had a power drill, and perfectly round holes were found in many parts of their house. The family's lawyer believes that he was waiting for the creep show. Ugh, chills. The neighbor was above 60 years old, and charges were pressed against him almost instantly. The violent neighbor. A wife was spending her night at the house when a woman knocked at the door. Soon, things started getting violent. She slammed her body on the door, called out nasty words, and started pacing around the house. Then, she did something even more horrendous. The woman threw the sheet from the window, punched a hole, and threw shards of glass everywhere around the porch. She then forced her arm through the hole in an attempt to get in. The homeowner was petrified. She called the cops and the officer came running to the scene to find that she was still there. She was arrested immediately. The lousy father. State troopers were called to a scene to arrest a 24-year-old man, but things started to spiral out of control when the family started resisting the son's arrest. The cops had just pulled out the handcuffs when the boy's father got into the excavator and started moving around its bucket to stop the cops. The mother also joined in to save her son from getting into the hands of the officers. The chaos led the whole family to be detained instead of just the son. The Mad Hunter. Imagine accepting a friend request only for the person to turn into a cyberbully. This man had joined the creepy squad and had been after a classmate for years, even once she had graduated. The guy would camp out of her workplace, stalk her on social media, and send her horrifying messages that are enough to send a person into a world of isolation. The woman tried many legal methods, but it wasn't until years later when a cop came across the man. He found the cyberbully carrying a bag of stalking equipment that showed the officer the horrors of the dark obsession he was under. The man was on a hunt for the girl. He was then finally taken on a sweet trip to jail where he could spend time with his dark thoughts all the time. The Furious Spitter. This woman was protesting for some reason, but somewhere along the way, she shifted the gears on her aggression, and that was about to come back and bite her. The woman spitted at the officer in a state of fury. The officer ignored her several times and put his mask on his face, but when the woman did it one more time, the cop had his patience ticked off. He jumped on her and arrested her. Bad move, sister. The Toxic Driver. If you want to see a victim card play into motion, watch this clip. A toxic driver cut into the traffic lane, parked in front of this driver with the dashcam on, and started walking aggressively towards him. The driver got scared and started backing up. After a minute of the brawl, the driver hastily drove away, and the toxic driver got back into the car. Catcaller gets called out.
Hey, bro, then why she out this late, bro? What? Why she out this late? This is Hollywood, bro. Why she out this late?
You don't mess around with a girl when her father is around, but this creepy man had the guts to do exactly that. The father was furious at the whole interaction. He called out the harasser by throwing a fit of rage. Rightly so. The man deserved a bit more karma than that. The Creepy Peeper. This man was seen peeking into a girl's bathroom and recording. The next thing you know, the woman recorded him and put his flyers on the street. The cops were called to the scene too. It is unclear whether he was arrested, but he will be spending his whole life in the internet jail for his horrendous crime. Biker's downfall. A biker had teased a driver by smacking down his car's side mirror and tearing it off, then started a high-speed car chase across swift turns and moving traffic that cost them both a trip to jail. But that was after the biker had his share of karma. The biker took a wrong turn and ended up pulling into a dead end. Next thing you know, he crashed his bike and fell over. Not sure which one of these is the real psycho here. Drunk mom goes to jail. A court proceeding was in motion when the judge was forced to do something dramatic. The victim's family was reading out their statements when the criminal's mother started laughing. The judge was disgusted and stopped the victim's family from scolding the woman. He then ordered the officers to throw her in jail. A trip to prison might fix her mind. Road rage backfires. This man probably thought he was in a video game. Raging against the driver, he forgot that he was the one driving too. Creepy guy gets humbled. A man was on his bike, cruising down the lane when he saw a distressed woman running. She clearly looked scared and was running from the creep behind her. The man stopped and let the woman come to him, who screamed for help the moment she came near. The guy called off the Creepy Stalker and put him in his place right there. Good thing the guy was there. The Shorty road rager. A car was continuously flashing, beaming the driver up front. He had no clue karma's lights would be so bright that they would turn him blind. The driver ignored it at first, but the flash beamer kept following the driver with the same tactics. So, the driver flashed his headlights too. That made the flash beamer angry for some reason. He sped up, stopped ahead of the driver, and got out to start a brawl. But he had messed with the wrong man. The driver paid no heed to him and rammed hard over the gas pedal. The guy was startled and scrambled away in panic. Hot soup thrower. This customer was displeased that her hot soup had melted the lid of the plastic cup. She came barreling into the store to complain about it. The manager was called, and the store was trying to either get her a refund or a replacement. But the woman was set on creating a drama inside the store. The employees started to gather that she wasn't in the mood to listen. She told the woman that she would call the cops if she continued with the passive aggressiveness. That wasn't met well with the woman. She picked up the hot soup and threw it right across the employee's face, burning her eyes and setting her nose on fire. The woman was later arrested, so camera did come for her. The risky celebration. This psycho thought it would be a good idea to crash his car into a police station. My man didn't stop there. He celebrated it right after the crash. I don't know if it was a stunt or him pulling off a dare. That celebration cost him an arrest within seconds. He looked surprised about putting a police station to rubble. The Creepy Stalker. A woman was busy buying something from the counter when she noticed prying eyes on her. She went up to confront the disturbing stalker and found that he had a video of her recorded on his phone. A good bystander told the girl that he had called the police. He then talked to the guy and found that he didn't think what he was doing was illegal. Pretty shocking to hear that coming from a criminal. The cops came and immediately arrested the terrifying man. Old man's surprising strength. Imagine getting beat up by an old man, but this guy is no ordinary old man. A robber thought this guy would be an easy target, so he crept up on him. But the old man was waiting his whole life for this moment. He turned around and found the mugger face to face. With his arms up in a boxing position, he was ready to take down the mugger. A few smacks, and the robber was already on his way out. Now that's the defense you need, but definitely not the karma of the robber. The Drunk Vandal. A shirtless drunk man was seen walking down to a car. He ran up to the car's side mirror and started toying around with it. He tried very hard to break it apart, but it didn't work. Then he managed to split it through a few smacks and punches. But he still wasn't satisfied. Nobody quite knows what he wanted to achieve, but the karma on his trail was about to hit him pretty bad. He gave up and was on his way to leave. Suddenly, the man pushed up against the wall and got knocked out. He was seen sitting there for a long time, trying to get his balance back. But that and his shame were well out the door by then. Slammed into karma. This hockey player wanted to pull a power move on his opponent, but forgot that karma could slam him down next. And that's exactly what happened. The DriveThru Fiasco. A drive-thru is the last place where you'd expect a road-raging incident to start, but apparently the hormones of these kids were scrambling all over. The woman at the front got out of her car and started using pretty nasty language. Then she went a step ahead and sprayed water down the trio's car. They obviously didn't take that well, so they gave her the perfect reply, a taste of her own medicine. Maybe that water will calm down all that rage. The raging cyclist. A delivery man was busy handing off the parcel when the cyclist got angry to ride through the small gap. He said a few nasty words and then rode off. But then something snapped inside him. He was seen riding back at full speed, trying to knock down the delivery man. But karma had other plans. With a sudden jerk, the man lost his balance and fell over into a pool of shame. He was too embarrassed to say anything after and drove away in silence. The poor party crasher. This young guy just wanted to enjoy the late-night house party. He called up his friends to ask for the address and found out that he was at the right place. But when he rang the doorbell again, he found that he was not welcomed and not in the most pleasing of ways. The estranged, bulky homeowner held no brakes in telling the young guy that he was not invited. He let the guy go, but not without a bloody nose. The man tore him to bits, but the lucky thing was that his assaulter's face was now all over the internet. The hero bystander. This robber came casually jogging into the store with a mask on his face. He had no idea what he was walking into. He stopped the man at the counter and pushed him to the side. That was probably his biggest mistake. The man took one look at the scrawny robber and shoved him down. With a tight hold, he had the man in his clutches as the robber tried to wrestle free. Apart from the feeble attempt at robbery, this dude was going to go on a sweet trip to jail. The pesky harasser. This grey van had a creep sitting inside who was catcalling at this girl and making some nasty comments. The girl ignored it at first, but then she thought there was nothing sweeter than revenge. That's when she hit the pedals hard and started chasing after the grey van. When it came to a stop, the girl halted her cycle. She grabbed the side mirror of the van, pushed it hard, and tore it down. The girl ran at full speed, leaving the disgusting man in a state of shock. The vile Karen. A woman was at the counter of a hair salon when she started a drama that was nothing short of evil. She started heading up to a teenager with a deadly stare simply because she was looking at her. The mother intervened, saying her daughter was a special needs child. Instead of backing out, Karen got even more angry. Even after she was out, the vile Karen kept up with the nuisance, showing inappropriate signs and calling out dumb comments. Pathetic, isn't it? Satisfying garbage disposal. This man was driving off into the sunset when he realized he had finished his beer. So like any sane person, he threw his empty bottle out of the car. But wait, did he leave his window rolled up? How stupid of him. The super judge. Maybe don't mess with the person who can throw you in prison. This concept was alien to this criminal in court. He was already pretty riled up. After signing the papers, he started getting even more edgy, but the judge ordered him out of the room. The officer began to take the struggling criminal, but he was in no mood to go. He saw a stack of papers and threw it at the judge. My man didn't stop there. He went for the telephone next, but the judge dodged. The transport officer was having trouble containing the criminal, so the judge got up. With a single shove, the judge pushed him on the table and kept him there until the other officers arrived to transport him. Justice League of Cartoons. A man was in such a state of buffoonery that he got attacked the way he attacked, in the most foolish way possible. The man overtook this white van and stopped right in the middle of the road, just waiting to start a fight. Another vehicle saw the whole fiasco happening, and here's when the cartoon attack happened. A bunch of goons dressed in cartoon characters started attacking the road rager. These smacks probably look mundane, but that's just because of the costumes. The guys did the job and were back on their way to the costume competition they were going to. Instant karma for the neighbor. This man was not pleased about the doorbell camera of his neighbor, so he would come out each day and try a new way to tear the camera apart. I don't know what the guy's problem is, but he sure seems determined to follow through this plan of his. First, he tried to tear it apart. When that didn't work, he went for the old hammer trick to get it to break. But karma was slipping in on his trails. He was just standing when the door fell on top of him, almost crushing him. The man got up, fixed the door, and walked away in shame. Harrisa gets punched. This guy thought he was showing riz to this girl, but that's just plain harassment, little dude, no matter what the internet tells you. 2 seconds later, the guy was on the ground, thanks to a good Samaritan's punch who knew the difference between being charming and plain harassment. Good luck getting up from that pool of shame. The psychopath. A woman was seen running towards this homeowner's porch for help. The doorbell camera recorded the horrifying scene, showing a man turn out of the blue and drag her by her hair to the other side. The neighbors saw the man threatening the woman and assaulting her. They called the cops right at that very moment, and what they found was pretty disturbing. The woman was being held captive, and this man was her boyfriend. He was arrested within seconds. That's all, folks. Karma works in mysterious ways, doesn't it? The people who went all in to show their crazy side ended up getting a full dose of karma. Which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up icon and subscribe to our channel. We have a lot in store for you. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.